Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is May 11th, 2021, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the Nasdaq tumbling and dragging down the Dow Jones as well. Now, there's no major economic event scheduled for today, but looking at the various markets, starting out with the currencies, pretty much unchanged and consolidating at their current levels. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. In terms of the indices, as mentioned, Nasdaq tumbling while dragging down the Dow Jones. Looking at commodities, pretty much unchanged as well. And when we look at the stocks, it's a sell-off across the board. Nothing really stands out as a green stock yesterday as we see that major sell-off. Lastly, looking at Bitcoin retracing at resistance at a mid-level where it's consolidating area. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to start out with the Euro USD. Okay, we're looking at a daily, 4-hour chart, of the Euro USD. You can see a little bit of a sell-off here from 121.70 down to 121.36. A decent retracement, but nothing really to write home about. For all intents and purposes, we are consolidating. Okay, now this is a decent threshold. When I say a decent threshold, I believe that we're in a decent resistance-ish area. Okay, especially since we see that the Dow Jones is selling off, means that the dollar is going to get a little bit stronger. So this may be that pivot point where we do that. Now, looking at the GBP USD, you wouldn't see that as well because this looks much stronger. Okay, if you see this on a daily chart, we're almost at that high that we were back in February. Okay, so really an important threshold that we're at as well when it comes to the GBP. Now, lastly, looking at the Canadian dollar. Okay, this is a monthly chart of the Canadian dollar. We haven't been in this area. Last time was 2017, and the time previous to that was 2015, and we're right there at that bottom level. Okay, 120 is a major threshold. Okay, so if we do breach it, we could see ourselves back into this next 110-ish level, between 120 and 110. So something to consider when we're looking at the Canadian dollar. Next, looking at commodities. Not much happening, but I just want to review it just for your sake. 1835 is where we're at. Okay, nothing really doing here. We may see a retracement as this is looking like it's topping out. Now, looking at oil, as there as well, at $64 a barrel. Again, not doing much here as we're looking. However, when we look at the indices, it's a completely different picture. The Nasdaq, okay, we're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq where we had this Fibonacci retracement already set up. The top level here is 14,000. If you guys remember, we hit that top level but couldn't sustain above it. And the Nasdaq has been pretty weak over the last few weeks and really not showing us any strength. The stock's not showing us any strength. Finally, we're getting that retracement where the tech stocks are really dragging the markets down. We're retracing here from 14,000 to 13,200-ish level, okay, which is a decent retracement there. Now, we're at a threshold, okay? If we don't sustain this area, which was previous resistance, subsequent support, we may see ourselves actually bouncing at this area. Okay. However, if we don't, we will see a further sell-off. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, a decent sell-off yesterday, more than decent, from 35,000 to 34,600 level. We are bouncing right here, so we may see a bounce later today. Let's see if that actually fruites. Okay, if this will come roaring back as it's done every time we had a sell-off, it came right back a couple of days later. So let's see if that does happen. Okay, if it doesn't, that probably means that we'll be going further down. Now, I don't want to celebrate that too soon because I want to see the individual stocks. So when we look at the rotation of different stocks, Apple was down significantly. Amazon was down significantly as well. Facebook down just mildly, and Microsoft the least down, okay, from all the stocks. However, when we look at the big board stocks, also, they're down. Alcoa selling off to $40.95 from hitting a high of $44. Now, remember, this was a $7 stock a year ago, okay? So the fact that this has gone to these levels is unprecedented, okay? And next, looking at JP Morgan as well, 161. And remember, this was also a $99 stock when the markets tumbled last year, okay? So with all intents and purposes, okay, this is a decent place for us to book profit. Now, again, okay, the markets have been really resilient, so I don't expect it to have such a major sell-off. I do expect it to come back at a certain point. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, we're at that mid-range. The upper range is 59 59,000, excuse me, and the lower range is 52,000. If we look, that's 59, that's 52, and we're smack in the middle. So nothing really jumping out at me, okay? Short selling at the top of this area is a high probability trade. Buying at the bottom of this area is a high probability trade. Right here in the middle, there's really not much doing, okay? Because if you buy, you have a 50-50% chance it's going to go up. If you sell, you have a 50-50% you're going down, okay? So with that said, just hang tight, okay? Let's see where it's going to go from here. Is it going to challenge this lower limit? Is it going to go rally back, okay? Let's see what the general markets do before jumping into a position, especially with something as volatile as Bitcoin. So just be aware of that. Now, the other thing I want you guys to keep an eye on is the VIX. VIX measures the volatility index in the market. We're trading right now at 18 and jumping up from 15 for yesterday. So let's see if this continues. Now, generally speaking, when we have major sell-offs, the VIX spikes, which is the case in point right now. So if it continues spiking, that might be a indication that we can continue selling off. Okay, so another little tidbit to give you a little bit of an edge on the market. This is Fred Razak, and I wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.